Let's talk Bob Joyce at Hot Springs Live tonight, August 17th at 10 p.m. East Coast time. If you're seeing this promo later, don't tune out. We'll talk a little bit about things now. We're not limited to one topic, and I'll explain why you shouldn't be. All right. So, welcome. My name is Jack Willard, and tonight we will do Worldwide Ramblings at 10 p.m. special Sunday edition. Did not think I could do that because I thought I would be in Westchester and then come home, three sheets to the wind, just totally exhausted. But decided to not go down to Westchester today. Karen has a list of some things she needs. So I went and got that. And supposedly, if all goes well, she'll be coming out of the hospital tomorrow afternoon sometime. She had a MRI of her lower back when she was in there. They worked on her neck and down with the rods, the screws, the fusion, and whatever else, maybe some gorilla glue, I'm not sure. And but she was still having pain in the lower back, and she said, "Well, while I'm here, could you give me an MRI of the lower back?" And they did, and they found, yeah, there's stenosis there, like there is in other places. Welcome to the '60s, and I don't mean the '60s when we were young. Um, Peter Noon says, I love the '60s so much, I'm doing it twice. Or in his case, he did it twice because he's now 76 years old. So they did that, and finally, they decided that they would give her a lumbar injection, the Carol lumbar injection, for the pinched nerve that they found. The only downside is that after receiving the Carol Lombard injection, she can no longer fly on small planes. Oh, I'll slap myself. That was tasteless. That was absolutely tasteless. And for those of you of a certain age who understand what I'm saying, I apologize. Well, so we're going to do that. She's still in pain right now, no doubt about it. And I was there long time Saturday, a much longer time Friday, and tomorrow she'll see her surgeon, Dr. Kynan, who was wonderful. Him and his team, an extensive team, I might add. And later on, we'll talk about the Westchester experience. It's more positive than not, and it's a tough job. So we'll talk about that down the road. When I'll be able to do worldwide ramblings in the near future, um, I may not know until an hour or two before it, and I'll pop on from my phone and say we're going to do it. So, pretty much it's pretty much play it by ear, play it by ear. But of course, big things were happening in Hot Springs, Arkansas. George Magazine Live 2025. I've seen some clips. I don't know if soon, or maybe more delayed than usual, they'll have videotape from the Bank OZK Arena. I hope I'm not directly opposite the release of that. But we'll see. This is going to be on for a while, and I am thankful to all the messages I got, and I'm happy for the chance to address you here. It's a lot easier than writing like 8 or 10 different messages. Of course, I could write one and forward it to 8 people. I could do that. But anyway, we'll be on at 10 o'clock East Coast time this August 17th, and we'll talk about this, that, and the other. I don't mind talking about my competition because he was there. Made the decision a few weeks ago to be there, Matt Sabina. I saw a little bit of his live stuff, where they were selling the merch and the after party and what have you. I'll give you some of my raw impressions on what he filmed. For now, Matt was pretty much fine, ran into a fan or two, and that was good. Wished him well, asked him about his cancer, and he says it's much better than it was a couple of months ago. He certainly looks a lot better. He was starting to look really puny with no hair, and now that's back, and that's just wonderful. He was talking about the channel, his channels. Apparently, he has multiple channels. I thought he had two, one for music and one for Bob Joyce, but apparently he has many. He says there's things I just don't talk about on here, and of course that's his choice. It's his channel. It's his choice. So you can't do that. You can't talk about more than one subject. Really? Have you ever heard of the name Joe Rogan? Who has millions and millions and millions of people that follow him, and this guy will talk about anything from Trump to the Illuminati to reptilian people to gout in Georgia. I mean, he spans the gamut. He spans the gamut. If you watch Clay and Buck on 500 radio stations, basically, I don't think they have a cam in the studio. You have to listen to Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. They may have a camera in the studio, come to think of it. They're in separate studios usually. But they'll talk about anything. They'll talk about Sydney Sweeney. They'll talk about this, that, and the other. First of all, if you're worried about the politics thing, they already know you're a Trumper. They already know you're a Trumper. Now, what I say is we don't do too much of that on Worldwide Ramblings because I notice people like to keep it light. When we do have a serious, I just can't hold back on a serious thing going on, I find that I have a 95% conservative audience, as far as I can tell, that would agree with me and make their own points. You know, they're not just one topic people. They're human beings. We care about everything from good coleslaw to a good movie to a good song. So you can talk about more, because if you try to do a channel where you're doing just politics, they're quickly going to realize you're no Russell Brand, you're no Tucker Carlson, you're no Candace Owens, although, you know, lately, Candace, what are you saying half the time? Tucker too sometimes, you know. And there's a plethora of other people, of course, that have a real gift for that, and you're not going to be able to develop that kind of that style of talent. You know, everybody's got their strongholds. Matt has a better tech ability, puts up the flashy stuff. Me personally, I don't put up somebody's work and put my name on it. I know Gene Ho doesn't like that. I know he doesn't. Absolutely doesn't. And they can copyright strike you or just take your funds if you got music in those videos. You're setting yourself up again. They don't have to just say, no, you can't use it, or you can use it, but you know, you have to realize you can't monetize it. They can just say, no, copyright strike, 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes. It's like baseball. You know what happens. You know what happens. So you got to be pretty careful. You got to be pretty careful. And I've noticed even my potential reading a few lyrics from a song, I'm going to back off of that, because you just don't know. You just don't know what can happen with the person who owns the song or the person who owns the video that you just put up all the way through. Fair use excerpts, different story. You can usually win that challenge of a fair use excerpt. Excerpt, says the announcer, because you're telling a story. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Maybe you're all over the map. I don't know. But we're telling, when it comes to Bob Joyce, a chronological story. That's what I do. And it's worked pretty well for us. So he has his audience. I have my audience. I'm not talking about Pastor. He's definitely got his audience. And it hasn't really hurt me. Where I may lose views, I gain them in a loyal audience that that is there for me, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I can't tell you tough times here at Ridgemont High or fast. Yeah. I mean, I've been going and going and going. Man, there's some bad drivers out there, a lot of them young. A lot of them young. I'll tell you about some of the experiences tonight, but it's just wild. It's wild. And having to drive back home last night on the Bear Mountain Parkway. Oh my God. Narrow roads, and there's always somebody who's impatient behind you who wants you to go around these wild turns at a high rate of speed. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But it's worse than it's ever been. It's worse right here. They can't do anything about it here in the city I live in, apparently in the Hudson Valley. So young people know they can get away. I'll tell you a few motorcycle stories tonight on Worldwide Ramblings, and we'll see what we can find about Pastor Bob Joyce. I saw him give the prayer at the dinner. Saw a little bit, not too much yet, of the Saturday speakers. There seemed again to be too many, and certainly too many speakers and not enough music breaks. One guy with a guitar that's really gifted is really all you need. And he can do that. And if you ever had a Saturday sing along with Pastor Bob and his praise band, that would be all you need, really. Come on, that would be all you need. Do a Bill Gaither type sing along and stuff. Magic. It would be pure magic, but that's no one's going to listen to me. So if you have, a 6-hour window and you got all these speakers, they're all being rushed, and I'll shut my mouth now. I got a kick out of the competition talking about one of those crazy Bob Joyce videos, the older sounding woman from maybe Arkansas, maybe Alabama, wherever she's from. She don't even know how to say the name Walina. She's calling her Walina. And as my competition pointed out, she's using the CGI version of Elvis Presley aged, and she's trying to say that's what he would look like. He wouldn't look like that. You know who he would look like if he I don't know if he was still alive at 90 years old. You know what Elvis Presley would look like? I'll show you. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Huh? That's what he'd look like right there. That's what he'd look like. As Jack Nicholson said, and what was it again? As good as it gets. Go sell crazy somewhere else with your Walina. We're all full up here. We're not going to believe that this man with Walina right here, we're not going to believe that man transformed into this man. We just don't believe it. It's all right not to believe it, right? Huh? We don't believe that to be factual. This man here was active, doing whatever he was doing in 1975 when Elvis was very much busy being Elvis. Then there's the Sabrina funeral. I'm so sorry. I meant to say the Sabrina wedding. Her funeral will not be to the year 2087. 2087, if man is still alive. That's the catch, Sabrina. If woman can survive, if man is still alive in the year 2525, we'll definitely never make it to that. Just forget it. These wedding pictures, apparently maybe both men were at the same wedding. I don't know, because we have this picture. This is the picture. Look at the hairstyle, how it's long and it comes back in a really cool way with a really cool part. And maybe at the same service, we have this man, which is the one the Walina woman shows, the one referring to Walina Joyce as Walina. Look in the eyes of this man. It's always in the eyes, in the eyes, in the eyes. So we'll talk more about that tonight a little bit, I guess. And then there's this video here. That the man who preaches every Sunday? Is that the man who preached at the Bank OZK Arena today, this morning? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm sorry, Uncle Albert. I'm sorry. I just, I was born at night, but not last night. I was actually born at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. So what else do I want to tell you on this 17th? I've completely lost my train of thought. Talk about the Karen experience. We are hopeful that you'll come home tomorrow. Talk about the driving experience and what have you. But yeah, you can talk about a number of things, especially remember when we do worldwide ramblings, we sometimes go 2 hours. We've been known to go longer. I'll try to keep it a little under 2 hours. I got to be up making that drive tomorrow morning at some point, 11 o'clock or whatever. And I'll tell you, I was so tired the first night, I just fell into bed. And it's just been a wild few days with the man downstairs walking in front of a car. Well, he got hit by a car while walking. And what that could mean. So other things happening that I'll keep personal because it's not for me to say. Oh, I can't sing songs. I can't do it. But I noticed that when people come on for worldwide ramblings, they like to talk amongst themselves. It's not always about Bob Joyce and what have you. We talk together about everything from food to a little bit of politics. And we talk about Christian prayer. We talk about faith and what have you. If you separate topics into channels, that's a recipe for disaster. See, people that are musicians and very good ones, I could never do that. I played the music. I can listen, as long as it's before 1989, I can listen to a song, could have listened to a song, and I could have told you whether it stood a chance of being a hit or not. I mean, I always use the group Alive and Kicking a one-hit wonder, When I was doing the WHN gig, not the New York station, but the reboot on the internet in 2018 for the late, great Mark West, he had an extensive library, and I was able to see not just Tighter and Tighter from that group, Alive and Kicking, but all their other attempts at getting a hit. And I would go through, as an audition channel, as another song was playing, I would go through little pieces of them, and there wasn't a hit to be found in the bunch. They tried so hard to follow up Tighter and Tighter, but they never found that magic song. So I have that skill, but I don't know anything about notes and music and writing a song. Can't sing a song. Can't do any of that. That's for Matt and people like him, But there's this misnomer because maybe for a year or so you've been doing pop-ons or what have you. You're now a professional broadcaster. And no. Know your strengths and know your weaknesses. And stop riding a bike during it. For God's sakes, next to be kite flying while doing it, Now that he can do what he wants. I'm just joking. But I'm saying, I've been doing this since 1977. I've learned the ins and outs of broadcasting. I've seen all kinds of formats from the greatest broadcasters of all times, and some that came before me I missed, because I wasn't born. So it's not, you can't self-appoint yourself into a broadcasters club. You can't do that. You have to earn your stripes, just like I could never do what Matt did in the military, for example. Thank you for your service. I could never do that. So don't think you know so much about broadcasting and, 7 channels with low views on most of them. You're not going to be, you're simply not going to be the next political commentator. I don't see that. So it's a lot of work for nothing. It's a lot of work for nothing. But what we do on Worldwide Ramblings is we are not afraid to talk about secondary topics. When something goes on big and you're coming on to do a 2-hour live show, and we hold the audience for the most part, you're not gonna want to say, "Oh, gee, we're on the verge of World War III, but I got to talk about only Bob Joyce." That's silly. That's silly. That's an insult to the audience. That's an insult to the audience. But when we can, we keep it light and we talk about fun stuff and what have you. It's not always about Bob Joyce, but I have learned he's got to be, I've got to sing It's Not Unusual in Delilah, or I can't sing a brand new song I just heard for the first time in love. The audience won't accept me. You leave that stage and you don't sing Delilah, Tom Jones, they're mad at you. They're mad at you. It's just that way. I get that part. I get that part. So will you join us tonight, at 10 o'clock East Coast time for Worldwide Rambling Special Sunday edition. My personal email is jackthefairguy@gmail.com. jackthefairguy@gmail.com. That's fair, like you're going to the carnival, FAIR, jackthefairguy@gmail.com. I would love to have your George Magazine Live experience. Write me a paragraph or two, okay, that you want me to share with the audience. I would love to do that with your name or without your name. I saw some of my people getting autograph from Pastor Bob Joyce. Every small town pastor is like this. Everywhere they go, people want their autograph. Isn't that the way it works? No? Things that make you go, And other things we got to talk about too, including Sydney Sweeney fever. You can talk about that too. People don't mind, People don't mind. So please subscribe and like if you like anything at all, and hit the notification bell if you haven't done that. Thank you for the people that are, especially in a time when I'm not producing as much, people going to the older videos and me taking a look at the wild new Elvis video and seeing it just went up 5,000 and it's been out there for months now. That's very encouraging and very helpful. It helps me. It helps me financially a little bit, and it keeps us out there in the public eye when we're maybe down at Westchester Hospital, that kind of thing. So see you tonight at 10. If you see this later, we may have already done the show. Just go to the live section of this channel, the virtual church of the disillusioned, and click on the 8/17/25 edition of Worldwide Ramblings. Bye-bye for now.